Gotta start with a disclaimer. You're going to hear from a father and his family that's fighting for 2 little boys right now. I understand there will be a lot of rebellious women getting triggered by this discussion, really because of their own lack of respect for fathers' rights. This right here is your opportunity to click off this video now. This conversation is not for you. If you're a young man, you definitely want to listen to this father and what he's dealing with right now after a recent tragedy. If you're a sister or a mother, your own family may be dealing with a similar issue concerning your own nephews, nieces, and grandchildren. I'm not some blogger, so if you're here for entertainment or gossip, this is not the video for you. This is a very serious discussion on fathers' rights, and not just parental alienation, but paternal alienation, where one whole side of a family can experience what the father is going through as grandfathers, grandmothers, aunties, and uncles. This is no different from the cases I cover here every week. In family court, child support, child custody, depending on where you're from, is 2 different things. Men are never allowed to speak on situations like this without being shamed by everybody, including the feminist-minded misandrists that want to silence men and toss them out as if children don't need their fathers. This is an educational piece, and there are so many lessons to be learned here. If you haven't heard about the Georgia woman who went missing back in July, mother of 4, Imani Roberson, you can catch up by watching the links below, but she went missing after she left her mother's house. She had 2 of her children with her, and the other 2 stayed back at her mom's house. The next day, her mom reported her missing. Weeks later, she was found in a wooded area in South Atlanta, and so far her husband and his brother, they are behind bars in connection to the crime. There was a GoFundMe made for her mother. First, it was to help locate Imani, and now that's been changed to asking for donations to support Imani's 4 children. Imani had a 1-month-old, 3-year-old, 9 and 11-year-old, all 4 of them boys. Her husband that was arrested is the father of the newborn, another man is the father of the 3-year-old, and the father of the oldest 2 boys is here today to talk about his fight for his kids. John is his name, and he's really not into all the publicity, but it was important for him to let it be known that he's an active father. He's been there, his family's been there, he's paid child support and everything, and now he's trying to get his boys. But unfortunately, Imani's mom is making that difficult for him as she's trying to keep his 2 sons and raise all 4 boys together. Although John, he's been co-parenting with Imani for years, and there's absolutely no reason why his sons can't be with him. Take a second to make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. Click the notification bell for all updates. We're talking about parental alienation today, so if you're watching right now, drop parental alienation below in the comments. Not going to waste any time, let's go ahead and jump into it.
You know, I'm the first 2 kids' father. Basically in high school, KJ was the first one that we had in high school, and then Carter was the next one. Basically how we found out was I work overnight on the weekend, so her cousin ended up calling me on Monday when I was asleep. So she called me about like 8 times. So when I actually woke up, I called her back, and I didn't know who it was. So she said she was crying at first. So I'm just like, you know, what's up? Like, what's going on? And she was just like, yo, Jay, Imani's missing. So I said, what you mean? Like, because I didn't really, you know, it just didn't sound right. It just was weird. So with that being said, when she said that, I ended up calling her mom, and then she confirmed it. Long story short, the kids were just with me like prior to that. This is like, you know, that same weekend, and me and Imani, we were definitely co-parenting, and we were definitely cool. With that being said, I just wanted to clarify that I am the first, you know, 2 kids' father, and yeah, I'm not really on the interview stuff. And the 3rd child has a father as well, but if he wants to clarify that, that's up to him. But, you know, the guy that's accused of doing what he did, he's only the father of the last child. So... Did you know him? You ever met him before? Nah, not really. Not really. Seen him one time at my child's football game, and he just had his head down. That's it. That's all I know. I don't know nothing about that guy. Like nothing. Which is crazy, but I don't know nothing about him. It's been almost a month. We're approaching like a month since he first got that phone call from her cousin.
Did you hear from her mother or anybody to figure out about you getting custody of your sons?
Yeah, me and the mom already discussed that I was going to be having the boys, but it was just crazy because like once school started to come in, I'm just going to make a long story short, the plans changed, but it wasn't in my favor, if that makes sense. Basically, I'm supposed to have my kids right now, but I don't, and I'm really fighting for them, even though I'm on both birth certificates. But I have my boys majority of the time. They're always with me. They're always with their mother. They be with their grandmother at times too as well. I am definitely in the picture, and I will always be here.
All right, so this is John, the father of 2 of Imani's 4 boys. John is only clarifying that he's been an active father, and right now he's fighting to have both of the boys in his custody. The father of the 3-year-old, he's able to speak for himself about what's going on with him, but John is here to clarify that he is not an absentee father, and he's been there.
They live with us in, different apartments and townhouses and stuff like that. Yes, I've had my kids since day one. Like, I haven't ever not been there, like, not even once. Despite anything that has been thrown at me, I have not ever been, missing.
So what's standing in the way of you having them right now? Because when the mother is gone, then the next parent is the person who was supposed to have them. So shouldn't they be with you right now?
Yeah, they should, but I'm going to let my mother speak for me on that one.
This is his mom. The issue that we're facing right now is that early on in their relationship, we had to go to court and legitimize the oldest child. And then when the second child was born, he was on the birth certificate, but in the state of Georgia, you have, which we did not know, you had to legitimize that child even if your name is on the birth certificate as the dad. They can file child support against you if the name is on the birth certificate, but you as the dad really don't have parental rights or control, which we did not know that's what the state of Georgia law was. Can actually have the oldest, but because the grandmother is trying to retain all 4 kids, we have to, and he doesn't want to split up the oldest from the youngest. The 2 boys, that's his. He's going through the process. We are actually going through the process right now, which I don't want to speak on because I don't want to give them, any relevant information. But we have to, I want to just say we have the legitimization process with the youngest one, who is Carter, before he can have parental rights.
Did he have to pay child support before, or was he able to just co-parent with her?
He has been paying child support from the time we went before the judge. Him and Imani went before the judge. He has been paying child support to Imani for his first, the oldest, and then once his name was added to the birth certificate for the second, Carter name was added to the child support, so he has been paying child support for both kids.
He's been financially responsible for both sons for their whole lives now.
Right. At first, the judge, and not getting too deep in it, the judge had us where we was actually just, paying them the child support directly. And something happened where they went to the actual child support office and said the child support was not being paid. However, we had all the receipts of payments that we did directly, which we presented to child support, and the judge went back and reassessed the case and lowered how much he had to pay because he was a teenager still in high school. So we as a parent was assisting him from the job that he had to pay the child support, because we didn't have a problem assisting or paying it because that's our grandchildren, that's his child. And, just to make sure that everything went well, we were just paying what the judge directly to them. But it seemed like that was not enough, and They tried to go down to child support and said they wasn't receiving it. But once all the receipt and everything was validated, then of course it went back through the courts, and the courts reduced his payment, and that was for that one child initially.
So basically, he's been on child support since the oldest was born?
Yeah, I think because he was, how many months?
It was 2012.
Yeah, 2012.
KJ was probably like 6 months. And then we stood in front of the judge. They falsely said that I pushed her or whatnot, or I touched her or something like that. And then come to find out, the judge even looked at me and said he couldn't even like see that in my spirit. Like,
saying her mother basically was the one that got her to do that. I'm pretty sure it was an 18. Yeah, in the 12th grade.
Oh, they were in the 12th grade. Okay, so that's why like his father and his mother was involved, and then her parents were involved because of their age.
Her mom was involved. Her mom was at court. Her dad, I think he lives in a different state, but I don't really know him. He was not there because the mom has remarried, so she has a stepdad. So on the news, it's her actual dad.
Again, anybody triggered by this discussion on father's rights, parental alienation, child custody, child support, Georgia family court laws, and legitimation, click off. This video is not for you. This is not some new discussion over here. We talk about this every week and examine dozens of cases. My thing is, you tell fathers to fight for their kids, but when they do it, you try to shame them into walking away. Then when they walk away, you shame them again for not being there. Here's a father, he's been in these boys' lives, and he's supposed to have them right now, but they are not with him. That's what this is about and nothing else. It's not personal. Flat out, the man is entitled to his kids. That's it.
Trying to keep all of them.
Why would she want to keep all 4 kids, even the 2 oldest, when they have a father that's trying to get them?
The third child also has a dad, the third child, but I really don't know why she would want to keep all 4, because my grandkids are saying that they want, basically want to be with their younger brother and all this stuff. And it's disconcerting. I don't want to think it, but I'm looking at that GoFundMe, and I'm just trying to understand, everything that's going on.
There's a GoFundMe for Imani or for the children?
It changed today to help
for helping to find Imani. It started off to help find Imani, but I had just noticed this morning that it changed to support Imani's children. So she's trying to raise $50,000. $50,000. But I'm trying to wrap my head around. It's like, why are you trying to get funds for Imani's children when 3 of them have fathers in their lives?
If you're unable to raise all 4 financially, why would you not allow, especially with my son, he wants his 2 kids to be with him. He's actually changed everything in his life so that he can be there for them, support them, and during this time while now that the mom has been deceased, but he hasn't been able to see them only but one weekend, which she said they can come over, and then he said he's going to keep them because now he has to start the transition to be with him now, or to live with him, because he's their only parent. And she didn't like that. And the kids were saying, well, my mom just died, and my younger brother and hang with him and stuff like that needs me. My younger brother needs me.
That's what the boys are saying. They're saying that the younger son needs them. They're being are they being brainwashed?
It seems like that. It seems like that to me, because from what the oldest said, and I would tell you, they always hear and they call, like my husband, they papa. I have never heard a conversation like I did this last Sunday when they were supposed to come over, and at this house, like they always been. I was really, it was almost like traumatic for me to hear him say the things he was saying, because the phone kept getting muted. And then I was asking him, why are you muting the phone? And he said, because my baby brother, he keep touching the phone. And then the phone hung up right after that. And then he called back. But the things he was saying is not what we're accustomed to hearing him, because he usually texts his grandfather, Papa, can you come get me? Can you come get us? And ever since, they came over that weekend, and my son told her before they even came over that, we have to agree on this. Imani's gone. I'm the only parent. So they have to start coming to live with me. I don't want to keep them from you. I want them to be able to see you and the other side of the family anytime they want to. But we have to start this, this transition where they come live with me. But that was not in her plans. Her plans was to me. Her plans was never to have them live with him. She wanted to have parental rights for them, or custodial rights. Mm-hmm.
Wow. So your grandsons, they had a visitation schedule, and they will come over there regularly.
They'll come over regularly, not according to the visitation schedule, but they will come over regularly on the weekends, 2-3 times per month, on the weekends, and spend the weekend here. So, it was consistent. Sometimes if, my son or Imani had a disagreement, sometimes she would keep them from him. But, that was not an issue for us. We had grown past that. But on a regular basis, they would come over and we didn't want to leave sometimes, want to stay later. And now it's like a total difference. Because and I would say this additionally, like when it came to registering them in school, being that Imani's deceased, she said that he has to register them, but since she have all the documents, because he doesn't have none of their documents, Social Security number, birth certificate, none of that. We just have the court order. And so since she was in possession of all that, he said, go ahead and let me know if you need me for anything. And the school wouldn't let her register them because she has no custodial rights. So she had the oldest call his dad, and he gave them the right to go ahead and let her register them with his approval. And ever since she got the school equipment, because they agreed, her and my son agreed, he agreed with her that they should do online schooling. And he said, okay, we have not seen the boys or the laptops that were issued by the school that he authorized them to issue to her for their education.
Especially tragedies like this that involves children. These are 4 kids now without a mother, and unfortunately now without a father. And now the grandparents are stuck to raise these children.
The Rockdale County Sheriff Office, the actual sheriff, he said on live TV, knowing it was internationally recorded, that they lost both their mother, and all 4 kids lost both their mother and father. And the sheriff department knows that those 2 first kids is my sons, and they know that the 3rd kid has a dad. So for the Rockdale County Sheriff's Office to make such a blaring statement, and knowing that it was wrong, was definitely a negative thing for the fathers, these black fathers who wants to be in their child's life.
So I just want to make sure that I get my name right, because I saw it incorrect on one of the news stations. I won't call. So I know how this routine goes. Again, I'm Eric, E-R-I-C.
Thank you so much. We appreciate everyone's prayer, your prayer, and we definitely, moving forward so that my son could be with his kids also, because he do love them and care about them. And they love him too. See, he's been there. He's been on child support. And so I'm not understanding, why she feels like he is incapable of taking care of his kids. Because if Imani could do it, he definitely can do it too.
I do believe John will get his sons. At the end of the day, right is right and wrong is wrong. And totally ignoring this man's rights is not just wrong, but it's outright diabolical. So yeah, I do believe that he will gain custody of his children. It was important to document this so his sons will know the truth. Their father did fight for them. And it's also important for younger men to see just how sticky things can get. Special thank you to John and his sister Jocelyn. I appreciate you, Jocelyn. She and their mother, both really level-headed women. And their mom is from St. Croix, very respectful people. So shout out to St. Croix too. Let me know what you learned from today's lesson. Let's start the discussion below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.